Sure,
All right,
please.
so I guess we'll call the meeting to order at 7:02 PM. And I guess we'll take attendance. Roll call attendance. Carol, is that the best way?
Yeah, it's best to get it on record that way. Yep.
Okay,
Mike Focarelli here.
Bill Ryan here.
Joe Mayato here.
Let the record show that Pat Cadane and Donald Maderas are both absent.
All right. So regarding the minutes from the previous meeting, Cindy,
Yes.
you have those in front of you?
Yep, hang on a second, let me get it.
Strangely enough, I have some input here, although I wasn't at the meeting.
Okay, yep, I'm all set.
All right, so the second and third paragraphs have me voting to accept the minutes. And did you have two sets of minutes that were reviewed at that meeting, or was it just one?
Just one.
So I
No,
think
it was,
the third,
hang on a second.
I think the third paragraph should just be deleted. It probably was a carryover from the previous.
Yes, I apologize for that. It was a carryover. Sorry about that.
And in the second paragraph, I think my name should be eliminated.
Yes.
All right. The other thing that I had was, I think maybe just a clarification would need to be made regarding under new business with Chief Petrin there.
Yes. Mhm.
It's a reference to the access for the water. And it says it is only one of two sites possible for the town to access water in emergencies. There are multiple sites for the town to access water. Maybe that's a reference to the saltwater sources.
No, it was, Joe, it was one of the two consistent sites.
The volume of water.
So
Okay.
That's what they looked at.
it was,
Maybe we could change the wording there, because I know there are a lot more than two sites in town to get
Yes.
water.
Okay,
it was said that it was one of two consistent
Right.
spots.
All
all
right,
right, I'll add that in then.
all right. That's all I have. I don't know if anybody else has anything else.
Nope.
Does somebody want to make a motion to accept the
Sure.
minutes?
Michael Focarelli, I make a motion that we approve the minutes from the March 16th, 2021 meeting.
Bill Ryan will second it.
Okay, motion made and seconded to accept the minutes from the previous meeting. All in favor?
Michael Focarelli, aye.
Bill Ryan, aye.
Joe Mayato, aye. Next item on the agenda is bills. We have just one bill for Paul's Press. And I'll make a motion that we pay that bill for $15.69.
Do I have a second here?
Michael Focarelli, second.
Take it to a vote.
All in favor?
Michael Focarelli, aye.
Bill Ryan, aye.
Joe Mayato, aye. Okay, the next item, I'm actually looking at the next few items. Review the Nature Conservancy's request to Coastal Resources Management Council to modify the Goose Wing breaching ascent permit. With Donnie not being at this meeting, I think that maybe we should table these next few items for the
Yeah,
next
I will
meeting.
make I'll make a motion to table the next table of management agreement, look-see.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Michael Focarelli, aye.
Bill Ryan, aye.
Joe Mayato, aye. So the mission statement, was that, I wasn't at the last meeting. Was that something, Mike, that came up, or?
That was something that Donnie had floated call to write some kind of mission statement for us, and so that was the first pass through That was the
All
first
right.
pass on a mission statement.
So I think it looks like that item maybe should be tabled as well then.
Sure, Michael Focarelli, I make a motion that we table the mission statement. The mission
Bill
statement
Ryan, aye. Second,
conversation.
All in favor?
Michael Focarelli, aye.
Bill Ryan, aye.
Joe Mayotto, aye. So I guess kind of in conjunction with some of these other items here, just to give the commission an update, Donnie and I have been meeting with Ned Levine as well as a volunteer. And we're just looking into various different situations with regard to moving forward with the other beaches and so on and so forth. There's nothing really to report at this time. But we are working on a few different things. It's a discussion if needed to review the maintenance and operation of the beach, as well as the budget and COVID-19 protocols. I'll take this opportunity to report on the budget, the meeting last night with the budget committee and the town council.
Yep.
Myself and Jimmy attended, and I think everything went. Carol also attended. I don't want to leave you out, Carol. I think everything went very well. There weren't any thumbs up or thumbs down, so to speak, but there were a number of questions that we answered. Craig brought up the issue about whether we should open at night and so forth. And I think both Jimmy and myself addressed that clearly to him and told him that we have discussed this among the beach commission in the past, and we don't believe that's a direction that we want to go in at this time. So that's about it in terms of that. Now, the rest of this thing is talking about discussing quotes from Micah Shapiro. Jimmy, do you want to take that?
Okay, Micah Shapiro, I think we sent out the quotes to all of you. We got the updated quote for the Goose Wing Shack, not only tightening it up, but replacing the floor. I think that's like $1,300. Unfortunately, I didn't bring them with me. It's like $1,300 for the floor and $300 for the work on the outside of the building. I think that's definitely needs to be done. That floor is a danger, and somebody's going to get hurt going in and out of there one of these days going through that floor.
I mean, he's got $550 for the remove multiple layers and rotted and damaged subfloor on Goose Wing shed, and install new 3/4 inch pressure treated plywood subfloor removal of all debris. The materials are $550 and the labor is $800, which came to $1,350.
$1,350, but that's just the floor. There's
Yes.
also a $320 quote that he originally gave us for the exterior, fixing all the things so that we can keep some of the rodents out and that sort of stuff. So basically, we're looking at about $1,600 for the Goose Wing Shack.
Jimmy, is that work now in the realm of what you think needs to be done and should be done?
Yes, I mean, we did in the warrant, we do have down $25,000 for the fixing of these buildings and stuff like that. The big one we'll talk about at the end. The next one is the shack, the gate shack, and that one's $320, I think, also. And again, it's minor fixings up, just tightening it up, weatherproofing it, that sort of thing. The last one is, and I unfortunately haven't been able to get a quote back from him. He gave a quote on building 8 individual changing rooms, which I personally don't think is going to be a good idea. Anything that's that small is going to be easily moved and easily tipped over and that sort of stuff. There was talk with him about building an entire removable changing room. I think we're going to run into problems there also, because it's going to have a step up going into it. And any building that you move, it causes problems. I think we should get back to him and ask him for a quote on replacing what's there. you know,
All right, I agree with that, Jimmy. I think that if you do something removable, you're now talking about an entire floor structure that you'd have to put in that
Yeah.
wouldn't otherwise need. And like you said, it's going to make it much higher. What we've had there has held up pretty well in
Yeah.
spite of storms and so on and so forth. I think it's the simplest solution. I'm going to make a motion that we accept the other two proposals and have him proceed with those as soon as he can. Time is marching on here, and have him get back to you as soon as possible with a proposal for doing the other sections the way that you want.
yeah,
My concern is that time-wise, that we're not going to be able to wait for the next meeting. So I'm going to propose that you, once you get that quote, you run it by Billy, and that part of my motion is to give Billy the power to act, to proceed, whether he deems that it's reasonable. That's a long motion, but
okay.
Cindy, you
I
can
would
call me.
also- One,
Nope,
one-
I understand what you're saying. You meant Jimmy,
Okay.
though, to let Jimmy proceed when he gets the quote and not,
No, for Billy to make the judgment.
all
So
right,
somebody
okay.
on the beach commission, but Jimmy to review it with Billy, and Billy make the judgment, if it sounds reasonable to go ahead and proceed. It sounds like by the basis of these other quotes that he's being very reasonable with us on this, so.
Now, that's the one thing I would say when Bill and I look at it together is that we stay within that $25,000 that's on the warrant, stuff like
Oh,
that.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah.
so too, but you never know on, I mean, if you look at his original quote, he was quoting, I think, $2,300 a piece for each one of the 8 separate changing room units, and that would have put us,
Yeah,
Well,
that's a lot more complicated though, because you're doing all 4 sides, you're making them all separate, and
Yep.
yeah.
And block will go up fast too.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, it's very easy. So do we have a second on this motion?
I'll second, Michael Focarelli, I'll second that.
We
All
take
in
a vote?
favor? Joe Mayotto, aye.
Michael Focarelli, aye.
Bill Ryan, aye.
All right, and then the last item on the agenda is discussion if needed pertaining to a meeting with the town solicitor regarding First Creek. That's a meeting that Donnie was to have, and I think that goes onto the list of being tabled.
I agree.
I agree.
Did you have a few more that were,
We have the correspondence.
yeah,
Yes,
correspondence and also operations I want to talk to you about also.
Okay, sorry, I went to meeting minutes before correspondence and didn't even notice correspondence. Sorry about that. So under correspondence, discuss requests from both the Little Compton and the Nome Surf Clubs to hold their surfing lessons. Let's take these one at a time, I guess. So I will make a motion, since we've had experience with both the Little Compton and the Nome Surf Clubs for surfing lessons. I'll make a motion that we send them approval, providing that they provide the proper documentation to the town.
Okay, one of the things that they're going to need to provide us with, when we had our little COVID inspection with the state police last year, they were looking for their opening Rhode Island business plan and stuff like that. They told us that we should be keeping a copy of that at the front gate. So again, reiterating to them that they need to have a copy. Carol, are they still requiring those for businesses at this point?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
yes.
So again, we need to have a copy of all their opening Rhode Island business plans at the gate. And they should also have a copy of that on the physical presence when they're there.
All right, Cindy, so you can send that along, that information along to them with your contingent approval that you send the letter to them, okay?
Okay.
And the next one is Hawaiian Gyms to come back as a vendor. Jimmy, do you have any feedback on
He's
any
been great.
issues? Been
No,
great?
No issues with him. Owner is a Middletown police officer. He's been very good, very respectful. They've been a
Perfect.
good vendor.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we approve his as well, along with the same request for documentation, insurance, and so forth.
Okay, also, we approved Anita earlier. I think Anita should be included in making sure that she gets us a copy of the opening Rhode Island business plan, COVID plan there also.
Good point. Cindy, will
Okay.
you send
Yeah, I
that
can-
to
I'll
Anita, even
contact
though
her.
she's already been approved?
Yep,
Um,
no problem.
And then, what about this Justin Madoff? That's somebody that wanted to sell food,
Yep.
Jimmy?
Yes, the letter, and unfortunately, I don't have it in front of me either.
I do.
Looking, oh, there we go. All right, Cindy saves me again, yeah.
Yeah, let me pull it out. I thought I did.
Is that one that went through you, Carol, or?
No.
No.
That came
No.
directly to us through the South Shore email.
Oh, here it is. Okay. Hello, Beach Commission. We have been in touch with Jim. Oh, wait a minute. This is from Anna. No. Oh, no, I left it at, I apologize. I left it at work.
When did that come in? Maybe I can find it.
I forwarded that to you probably 2 days ago,
Yeah.
Let me look.
or maybe a day ago.
I think yesterday.
Or you know what it was? Because we said we weren't going to take any more correspondence after the Monday proceeding of the preceding week. So this was like last Tuesday we got that in,
Yeah.
which would have been like the 6th.
Yeah,
Okay, let me, hang on.
Oh, let me go look at the other file. Maybe I've got the copy in there.
Yeah, I didn't find it on my phone. But I don't want to mess up this Zoom thing if I try to do it on the computer. When I skimmed it, my thought was that that we should, since this is somebody new, that we should get some additional information as to exactly what he has in mind.
Yes.
Jimmy, did you hear that?
Yeah, I think he gave a bit of a description of what he wanted to do.
Okay, I have the letter if you want me to read it.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Justin. I'm a Little Compton resident and frequent South Shore beach goer. My wife and I are interested in applying for permission to serve food at the beach this season. We have already applied for our food retail peddler's license and food safety manager's license. We are interested in providing healthy options to beach patrons and utilizing local Little Compton produce and ingredients in our cart. Our plan is to use a generator for electric appliance in a 2-wheel cart hitched to the back of our vehicle. As residents, we know how important it is to keep our beach clean and not commercialize visitors' beach experience. We hope to engage the commission in creating a safe, healthy, and fun food service at South Shore. We have 5+ years of experience in serving and teaching culinary arts at a specialty program, Art Smart, Walpole, Mass. Hope to meet you soon, Justin Madoff. And then he gives his Lennox Realty Group, Providence Classic Entertainment and Sports.
Oh, this is my thought. I mean, my concern, I guess, and the reason I said about getting further information is what types of foods that he would be serving. And the reason I'm asking that is we have established vendors such as Anita that has been doing it for years, and we don't have any issues with it. I'm just kind of, I'm just throwing this out there. I'm just a little concerned that all of a sudden, if he's doing some of the same stuff that she's doing, that could hurt her business. Anybody else have any thoughts about that? I don't, it's just something that
He
came to
should,
mind.
he should anyway identify what he is going to cook down there. That's the only thing missing.
So do
So-
you?
What's that, Mike?
Are we interested, or is it a no, thank you?
I don't know. I mean, it's not, he's a resident, and it sounds like he's being very, concerned about everything and wants to do the right thing. And it sounds like he's taking the right steps and so forth. My own personal opinion is I would hate to reject it out of hand for no reason.
Yes,
Right.
I agree.
Let's just figure out what he's gonna serve.
All right,
That's
why
what-
don't we do that? Cindy, why don't we get back to him and,
Ask him to present,
ask him-
maybe what
menu.
he plans on
Yeah.
having as a menu. All right.
Yep.
Yeah,
right, and also you can put it in a way, Cindy, that's to his benefit as well. That we don't have an overlap with existing vendors, so that otherwise it'll just hurt both of them,
Yep.
and tell him that's why we're doing that. But he needs to get that back to us as soon as possible so that we can get back to him before the beach opening. So all that, all those approvals, I guess, was my what I'm proposing as a so
well, I'll
that-
second those proposals.
second, yeah.
Michael Fogarelli, aye.
Bill Ryan, aye.
Joe Mayotto, aye.
Motion carries.
Sorry about that, Cindy. If you have
No,
any
that's
questions
okay.
about wording and stuff, we can talk about it.
Yep.
Were there any others, Jimmy?
Yeah, a couple quick, correspondence, that's it. Did want to talk about operations. Do we want to change any of the prices this year? And there was some mention about maybe going up on the season passes to 200. And again, the day passes, that sort of stuff at the 20 on weekends, 15 on weekdays. We did go up on the week passes last year to 50.
Jimmy, you just froze.
Did I lose you?
On my end, you froze. I don't know if anybody else, I missed what you said. I mean, I heard the going up to 200 on the season pass.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's, the budget, the numbers that were figured there were not based on any increases in prices. But again, we just want to run it by you guys before we start printing out material with the,
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't have any objection to going up to 200 on the season pass. They seemed to sell really well last year in spite of the whole COVID thing at the 175. And that doesn't impact town residents at all.
No, and I think that's a good idea, but the day tickets
stay the same.
stay the same only because, the people that go down there in the daytime like that, we want to keep that affordable for them,
I agree.
because they're coming out of Fall River and,
Yep.
they're the people that pay the dime here and we got to take care of
That's
them.
right. That's right. All right, so I'll make a motion that we increase the season pass from 175 to 200, and that the other prices remain the same.
I'll second that.
All in
Michael
favor?
Fogarelli, aye.
Bill Ryan, aye.
Joe Mayotto, aye.
Michael Fogarelli, aye.
Okay, the only other thing was operational procedures. Do we want to maintain what we were doing at the end of last year?
I
as
think
far
we
as
decided that already, didn't we,
Yes.
Jim?
Yeah, I mean, there were a few other things that were out there and stuff like that. We'll need to talk to Chief Petrin with regard to fires again, just making sure he's on board with everything with that.
Yep.
Going from there, so also.
All right, yeah, I think for the past few meetings, we've all been on the same page with regards to following last year's protocols. So whatever details are involved in that, Jimmy, you just go ahead and work it out with the chief.
It worked well last year, that's for sure.
Yep,
On that line also, would like to be able to, in the event that the governor changes rules and regulations on us, being able to adjust that
Yes,
on the day it comes out, so like if it says going back to 100% capacity, we do that,
Yep.
if he trims it back to 50%, then we are able to do that immediately.
right.
whatever they say, we have to go with that.
Go from there. The other thing I wanted to ask you guys is last year about this time, you guys put me on payroll. Do you want to put me on payroll again, or do you want me to hold off a while, or what would you like to do?
Well, Jimmy, I think that you worked that out so that the hours come out in the end. I think we talked about like 1,000 hours. So however you spread that out, whatever's to your convenience, that's fine with me.
It's definitely because you've done a lot of work, Jim.
Thank you very much. Well, my pleasure. And again, the only other thing that I want to give you guys heads up on our equipment going down there. We're going to be moving the containers down the Monday before we open.
Okay.
Be May 24th. We're going to do the single dumpster again, and that I'd like to get that. We're asking him to drop it off on the 28th. And then the porta johns were again 28th, and we're going to reduce those by 3 again, like last year.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause
what
if we
about
need-
what about the story with Lloyd's, Jimmy? We're not going to do that at this point, right?
No.
Do you want me to, Jim, do you want me to report on that meeting?
Sure.
Okay, hang on. So there was a meeting with the two chiefs, Tony, the town solicitor, Jim, Donnie, and myself. And it was basically a follow-up on last year's Rhode Island Road discussion. So let me see if I can find my notes. So the Rhode Island Road issue has been settled. Both chiefs feel satisfied with that. The issue is about access to the beach. Nothing was finalized or decided at this meeting, but it's about access to the beach. Once again, it's the perpetual question of who owns the beach and whether or not the access to the beach involves the beach commission or not. So what we agreed to do was to, the only beach commission part was that we were going to put a sign up with what was the legal language of
Danger unguarded area.
danger unguarded area. So there still is the same sort of unclear issues about whether or not the guard that's hired by the citizens of Rhode Island Road has any
Standing.
I know the chief moved him into the inside the gate because that's the property that's owned by the Mrs. Whitehead, I guess, who was the hirer of that of the guard. So the chief Chief Rains thought that the guard was probably not coming back this year because he was retiring from that, but potentially there would be another guard. So the town solicitor still owes us the deeds of who owns the, and Donnie's thought that we should have a meeting with the stakeholders, which would be the property owners, which include TNC, Mrs. Whitehead, and come to some kind of agreement of how we should handle that beach. But it was sort of left, and tell me if I'm wrong with this, Jim, it was sort of left that we have access, but we don't have ownership of the beach.
And just to interject, part of the work that we're doing, myself and Donnie and Ned, does involve the TNC and is related
Right.
to Lloyd's as well. So the reason I asked about it is because I think last year we had to step up to the plate and provide a porta potty. Is that right, Jim?
Yeah,
Basically for the beach
the
at
harbor.
the harbor.
The
For the
harbor.
harbor, yeah, okay.
So, and Gary Mataronis was also at that meeting. And he acknowledged how he felt that the harbor was more of an issue and problem than the Lloyd's Beach, because that is town-owned.
So, but we're not providing, we're just doing porta potties at South Shore, Jim, right?
Yes, yep. The
Okay.
only reason why the porta johns were put down, down at the boat landing there was because DEM did not put them in, and people were using the beach down there as their own private porta john.
Yeah.
They did later on in the season put some in, and but again, that's not our responsibility again at this point.
No, I think we just did that to kind of step up to the plate, given the COVID thing, and the state was basically shut down. So they were saying it's not there, but people were still going there. So
right.
we had to do something. So Jimmy, what about the repair work for the beach? You got all the dates here for the
Openings.
containers and so forth. Do we have a date for the repair?
I do not yet know, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring it up today. So I'll probably talk to Donnie if I can tomorrow to try to get an idea. Because there's a lot more involved in this year's than previous years. I really hope they don't wait till the week before we open to start doing it like in past years.
Right.
No, we can't do that.
Should start.
Well, we got a
putting-
lot going on there, and as I said, the time is marching on, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a motion that that Jimmy, in conjunction with Donnie and with Wilkie, have the power to proceed with scheduling that as soon as it makes sense.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Michael Folcarelli, aye.
Bill Ryan, aye.
Joe Mayotto, aye.
We have somebody in the audience that has some questions here. It's our new council member. Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, really, I'm only here to talk about that last issue. I just need to coordinate with you guys because we got the state money to contribute to part of those repairs. And so I need to be tracking, like, as I said, I left a message for Bill earlier today. Mainly, I need to know, are you treating this as the part that's state funded as a separate project, or is it all one project? It sounds like it's all one, but I want to make sure of that.
It's there's sort of different parts of the whole one, I think, but Donnie really would be the one to best explain that because he plans that out, and he's a surveyor. There are drainage improvements there. There's a couple of different things that are related to that, and part of it is the annual upgrading that we have to do on that beach.
Yeah, understood. Yeah,
So
okay.
we should separate some of that you're suggesting.
Just in the sense that what we described in the grant application and what's funded by the feds, I need to be able to account for it somewhat separately. But, we don't have to get too hung up, but I just want to make sure that.
Oh, but it has to be, what I can do is we get a hold of Donnie and separate the two a little bit here. Because I know there's blocks that we're putting up. We are rising it up that we never did before. So I think those are some of the projects that would be consistent with the grant.
Okay, so I can talk, if you want me to just deal with Donnie, I can do that. And I don't think it needs to be separated out as a contract. It just needs to be kind of
right
or separately.
And we can work with Chris after.
Difference.
We can work with Chris after that. He could probably provide us with separate bills, for the amounts so it matches up and works out. So for the grant documentation.
Perfect. Yeah. And also we are allowed to, we have to put up the town match. And we can do that through in-kind contribution. So for example, on some of the other projects, we're putting up Tony Texera's time, even Bob Mushin's time, Bill Moore's time. So if there are people who are getting paid by the beach commission whose time we should count towards this as an in-kind contribution, let me know of that as well.
Okay.
Well, the only one that I can think of that we really have on our salary is Jimmy, on the beach commission salary. But if we want to apportion part of that, because he'll obviously be supervising that project to make sure that it makes sense down there for him.
Okay.
So maybe some of that the town can allocate towards that in-kind contribution.
Okay, great.
And we'll definitely get you those plans and show the separations.
You can use
Okay.
100% of my salary towards that too, if you like.
and your food and keep, right?
Yeah.
I apologize for not getting right back to you. I just got the message today. Last week we tried to do it.
It's totally okay, and I figured I might as well just get on here what you guys
That
are
was
thinking about.
even better.
Yeah. So
Cindy, do we have a date for the next meeting?
May 4th,
May 4th?
yes.
And that will start our every 2 weeks.
Yes.
To that point also.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else have anything else? That being the case, I'll make a motion that we adjourn at 7:38 PM.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bill Ryan, aye.
Joe Mayotto, aye.
Michael Fogarelli, aye.
Right, I'm
Well,
gonna,
thanks.
I'm gonna send you guys an email because that May 4th one conflicts with the planning board.
Oh,
So if you could have a short meeting, then we can meet and I can still do both. Or you can
What
meet a
time?
little bit earlier. and
what
take
time is
care
the
of it.
planning board meeting?
That's 7.
Planning board starts at 7.
What do you guys want to do? You want to change the meeting to 6?
I think we should.
Yeah.
That should give us plenty of time. All right, Cindy, you got that?
6 PM for May 4th.
6 PM. Yep.
That work for you,
Alrighty.
Carol?
Well, that'll be fine so long as you're done by 6:50.
Get
Oh,
It
yeah.
gives you
moved to
50
death that night.
because I have to have time to open up their meeting to allow them to come in.
The one time critical thing that I see that coming up at that meeting is going to be that information from that Justin Madoff, because we'll have to give a yay or nay at that point based on what he provides us with, I think.
Well,
Too late.
can anybody meet outside where we don't need Carol? If it's a good day?
The problem with that is the governor's orders still mandate that you have to have this electronically. So it doesn't
Okay.
matter if you can meet in person, you could, but we still have
You'd
to.
have to have somebody film it?
Yeah, let's keep it like this for the time
All right,
being
all
and
right.
see what happens.
All right. Well, if you think 6 o'clock's gonna work for you, then we can keep it on the
Now, we
same.
have 3 days before we could change that, so just say we did it at 4:30. Right?
What?
Earlier, just in case, or 5.
And that's up to you guys.
Why don't we consider that so we can give information out and it may take a little longer. If it doesn't, well, that's fine too.
Do you want me to change it to 5 PM from 6?
Does everybody agree with that?
5 PM is better.
Can make it work.
It'll be better for Carol.
Okay.
5 PM?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Then thank you.
All right. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank
See
you
you
very much.